Oh, fantastic.
And Tony needed a bit of a wash.
Yeah, that's great.
Glad to see Twitter didn't bog it. So.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the July version of the COVID-19 edition of the Toy Land Cruiser Club monthly meeting. It's wonderful that us up in the country are living the life of Larry, and you people down in Melbourne have got to lock yourselves away and the like. But I guess it'll probably end up down our way just as bad as yours if the way things are going. This past month, not a lot's happened. We've tried to kick off some DA, which at the last minute seemed to get stymied by our COVID friend and the like. No trips. A lot of trips have been cancelled. Mount Skeen has been cancelled. All the permits given for the Mount Skeen trips that were organised have been cancelled by the council up there, and which is a bit disappointing for most of our members. Quite a few trips were organised for a Mount Skeen snow trip the last for this month. The annual general meeting, which is usually held tonight, is going ahead. I believe on September the 15th is the date the executive committee has agreed to finally have that held on Zoom. How we're going to manage the various things such as awards and the like will happen. We'll announce who the awardees are and do photographs and present the trophies some other way. Unfortunately, it might be just by post, but anyway, having this COVID thing has thrown us all over the place because of normally we meet face to face and have a lot of fun, but in this case, fun part's been taken out of it. Now, I've written my annual report, which is quite large, and I don't want to go through it all, but generally speaking, the major issues. One thing that's come out of the mix today is that the S173 permit for the multi-purpose building going ahead. Angela and Ellen have finally got that down to, I believe, the last trail of documentation will go to Michael Coldham this week or so, and basically the multi-purpose building is ready for construction and getting back organised into that field once we're able to hit the ground running. Social, unfortunately, the Dingo event, which was a great effort by Ellen and Angela, pulling all that together, considering the current climate, is cancelled, unfortunately, because I was keen to go to that myself. But be that as it may, generally speaking, the executive has met recently and made some decisions relating to how we'll run the AGM coming September, whilst it might be a new field that we're venturing into. With a bit of luck, I don't think we're going to have any problems going forward. So from that point of view, I don't really have much more to say with the President's report, other than YARC actually met. The YARC team went up there and did some preparatory work for the DA people, and sanitised the place and cleaned the place up and so forth. And I noticed I received a message from Brian Stewart the other day relating to some safety efforts that the team's going forward to, which augurs well for a well-managed facility. Not that it isn't well managed, of course, but going forward now, I think we're pretty happy with everything that goes on up there, irrespective of the whys and wherefores. The only issue we've got, in my view, is that we can't run Cruisacana this year because of the COVID thing, but consequently, I'm sure we'll have some frivolity up there when this thing's all over and we're all allowed to move about again. Is our guest speaker, John Dannock from ARB Kilsyth. ARB at Kilsyth we've had many a trip out there and enjoyed ourselves on over the years. It's been fantastic. You've been a great supporter of the club, John. So I'd like to hear from you. Over to you, John.
All right, thank you. First of all, thanks for the invite, Laurie and Sandra and everyone. It's a very different year we've had, and certainly none of us expected any of this. So it's been strange. I guess from an industry and business point of view, we back when this all started, we wound back operations and hours and staffing and all that, and we have been inundated with demand unexpectedly towards the end of April, May and June, which is really unexpected. And a lot of you probably read caravan sales and car sales and all sorts of spikes in those types of things. And certainly from our point of view, our June 20 was our biggest June ever. And towards the end of May was ramping up as well. So the problem we face with now is our delay in product delivery, given we're a bit behind, and a good problem to have, but certainly domestic sales and international export sales have really boomed. So it's it's a very, very weird year, and each week is different. And as of Thursday, it's everyone wearing masks and all sorts. So it's been a challenge so far, and it's going to continue to be that way. So, but we've been fortunate with our demand, which has been very unexpected. So very weird year. We've haven't stopped, I guess, trading and engineering and those types of things, and certainly we've managed to release a few cool products this year. No shows or anything except for the February show, but no shows since our open days and national show cancelled and all that. So it's we're in a position where we're doing a lot of things via email and Facebook and all those types of things. So I guess most relevant, and a lot of you have probably seen it on social media and email today, is the release of our new roof rack, which has been a long time coming. It's something that we 100% have engineered and we manufacture it. We've made the same roof rack for 30 years and it's stood the test of time, but we've developed something a bit lighter and stronger and easier to use. So it's a bit hard for me to hold a roof rack up in front of you and show you what it is, but be sure to check out our pages and social media and those types of things, and certainly give me a call or an email and I can give you some details. I guess the platform rack system, which has been done by a lot of companies, Rhino and Yakima and those types of companies, is not a new concept, but what we've done is made it our way, so stronger, lighter, easier to use, and certainly more relevant to I guess expectations and looks and design these days. So be sure to check that out. It's just hot off the press today, so ready to go, and certainly something that when we can get out and about, we can certainly use all these products. In terms of the start of the year, we also released a new range of fridges, which some of you may or may not have seen. So we've developed or expanded our fridge repertoire with dual zones. A lot of people have asked for dual zones, different size capacities. So we have now about 13 fridges in our range, from a 44 litre up to a 96 litre. So again, expanding our reach and being relevant to our competitors. And unfortunately, been a bit of a dead year to exhibit a lot of this stuff. But again, a lot of it is well documented online and those types of things. So the outside of those sort of two retail products, we're still and still have been developing new products in the line of new Ranger, BT50, D-Max, Hilux, and we've had a bit of a sniff of the 300 series. So certainly a lot of things happening in that point of view to keep the ball rolling. If and when we can get out and about again, we'll have some new products on some new relevant vehicles. So the good thing is a lot of the dual cabs are still ladder frame chassis and tub on body type of things, so we can still do trays and all those types of things. The 300 series, I believe, will still have a ladder frame chassis and those types of things. So still some good cars coming out that we can use off road, and certainly the challenge with us is getting the product to work and function and fit correctly. So plenty going on still, and the next part of the year is going to be, if anything, more of a challenge as a catch up to deliver to our customers, and the rate of demand is beyond even our forecasters and our expectations. So it's somewhat a good problem to have. So I guess, yeah, any questions or anything about myself or ARB this year, or any products coming out?
There's one here from Michael Burke. Have you got your hands on a new 300 series yet to start making aftermarket kit? Not physically in Australia. We have a good. In fact, we have a reasonable relationship with Toyota from a OE development point of view. So we do have some details of the car to develop their product. We don't have a physical car, but we have some data as to, widths and lengths and all those types of things. So unfortunately, a lot of the time it's until we get a car in Australia, which is Australian spec and delivered, is when we can actually really start to engineer and work it and all those types of things. So in Australia, we're big on safety with sensors and cameras and all that, whereas a lot of other markets, US included, Africa, don't have anything to do with that. So we do get a bit of a head start, but until the car, which I'm still not sure of a release date, we still don't get the best opportunity to do everything. So we bought the BT50 been delivered. We've got that in our hands. Hilux is not too far off, and New Navara as well. So plenty of the bigger names that we need to focus on first, and then there's a lot of international vehicles, US Ranger, Series 5 Patrol, and a few others. So JL Jeep, the Gladiator Ute, dual cab Ute. So plenty going on. A message here from Shane Hornby. Is pricing available for new base roof rack products?
Absolutely. Yep. All released. I can, you can give me a call or an email.
That'd be better. Yeah.
I can certainly give you the right ability with correct quoting and all those types of things. So on our website, we've released today, specs and options and all that. Exact pricing and fitting, I can quote up. So just give me a call or an email.
No problem. Now, I believe we've got a promo video to play from you. Is that right, Laurie? We're going ahead with the ARB promo video?
We are, yes. It'll last about 90 seconds, so anyone's got more questions, have them ready for John when we come back.
Okay. Here's another one from Julian Breed. For John, can I put a bull bar on a Series 200 LC and not upgrade the suspension?
Yeah, good question. Certainly, suspension is better aftermarket suspension, I mean, but not a requirement. The car will lose some clearance and some front end height, but absolutely not a have to. You can certainly, and a lot of customers do just get the bull bar. And we do have these days alternatives weight-wise with alloy and plastic versions for people, crucial on weight and those types of things. So definitely recommended, but not a necessity.
Okay. Another question from Julian. If I don't have a bull bar, can I mount the aerial on the rear of the car? I imagine that shouldn't be too difficult.
Yeah. GME have actually bought out windscreen aerial stickers, which have been a breath of fresh air, because we have a lot of challenges with SUVs and those types of cars to mount an aerial. So they can do a front or side window sticker, which is a under 3 decibel gain rating, which is not too bad, but satisfies people without bars and those types of things. Mounting aerials on bonnets and roofs and those types of things is challenging with getting wiring up and down and all that. So certainly a popular option. We've had GME release them at the start of the year, so much better from that point of view.
Okay, well, we've got no more questions, so we'll go to your video and come back to you at the end. Well, there you go. Thank you for that, John. Really appreciate you coming on board. And as I said earlier, ARB Kilsyth has always been one of our favourites. And I know Sandra organises trips out there for, and it's always booked out and very quickly. So thank you once again. Your products, obviously, all of us in the club have got ARB products. There's no doubt about that. And like you said before, it wasn't a bad problem to have when even though the COVID virus is affecting people, you still have high sales. So thank you once again, John. Appreciate that. You're welcome to stay on board for the rest of the night if you wish, but if you don't, that's over to you. So thank you once again. There are no other questions. I can't see any on the list here, so...
Eric, I've got one on Facebook.
Sorry?
I've got one on Facebook. Brad Meacham wants to know, is there a 3/4 roof rack for cars with sunroofs?
Yes. So if that's a question for a 200 series owner, then yes, we have a rack that goes from spoiler to sunroof, specifically for that car. So. And also Prado 150, 120 and 100 series.
Okay, good.
Ah, right. That's beautiful.
Yep.
There's a lot of discussion going on Facebook, but that's the only question I've got so far. So they might have some more later.
No worries. Well, I'll hang about, so all good.
Okay. Well, thank you, John, once again.
Thank you. No worries. Thank you very much.
Now, we've got some subcommittee reports, but before we do that, I've got a list of members who have reached their 10-year milestone and one who's reached their 20-year milestone. So Barbara has, our membership secretary, has written off to each of these people and obviously sent them their badges and the like. But to start off with, we've got James Clark, who's a very prolific trip runner, a trip leader, and James and I have been on trips before. James was with me when we went into the outback and I found my old Citroen that I've restored. So that was an eventful week. Marcus and Betty Kunith have reached their 10 years. Dulcie Watts, well done Dulcie. Ian Wells, Michael Schutka, Leslie Robertson, and a 20-year milestone goes to John Rawlins. So congratulations everybody, you've reached those milestones, which you don't realise all of a sudden they pop up on you. The next person is Viv on any trip information.
I just want to say to everyone, I hope they're all keeping safe. It was a great shame that the snow trips were cancelled. I would like to give a special thanks to James Clark, Steve McAdam, Duncan Stadler, David McAllister and Michelle Dogkins, who put a lot of work into their trip preparation for this Mount scheme. And I know that they're keen and I hope they'll do it again for next year's snow season, bigger and better. Wander the historic Grampians, Murray Sunset and Whipperfield, and the Ark Adventure activity may still go ahead when they're scheduled to run, provided the government don't make any more changes to their restrictions. Fingers crossed. In the meantime, please keep safe and hopefully we'll be running another Trip Leaders course around the end of the year. That's all from me, thank you.
Next item off the agenda is education with Liz Mills. Fire away, Liz.
Well, good evening, everybody. I hope everybody's keeping well. As Eric mentioned earlier on about the training centre or the multi-purpose building, I'm really looking forward to having that on the go so that I can get some of my courses up and running in that as soon as it's available. Okay, now the tyre repair course, it's full at the moment, but I would recommend that anybody who would love to do it, please put your names down on the waiting list because then we get an idea of how popular it is and we can get the boys to run another one for you next year. At the moment, that tyre repair course is on the 10th and 11th of October, but of course, it all depends on coronavirus, what happens with that. Now, the first aid course is online and people are starting to book on that. It's not until February, so it is on the list fairly early, but it's good that we've got a date for that, which is the 20th and the 21st of February. So get it on your calendars if you're needing to do a first aid course or update it. Now, also, I have organised for next year, again, pretty early, but nice to get the dates on the calendar, a photography course held at Yark. Now, that will be 13th and 14th of March. All the details will be on the net later on, but again, put it on your calendar if you're interested to do that. Also, I've been talking to somebody about a chainsaw course for next year. I'm looking at 14th, 15th, 16th of May, but I will still need to confirm that with them at the beginning of the year. So again, just keep a watch out for that one. So I think that's probably about it at the moment. I keep trying to think of things maybe that we can do on Zoom, just to have something for you. So hang in there and wear your masks. And I'll see you again sometime soon. Bye.
Anything we can do, Liz, on Zoom, whilst Yark is unavailable would be ideal. So there's nothing stopping us from doing Zoom stuff with training and education and various other things. Webmaster, Laurie Miles.
G'day. I've been sitting here just watching Facebook and knowing the back end of the meeting, and Facebook certainly is busy tonight with a lot of questions. Some are filtered through and there's a lot of discussions going back and forth. The one thing that I did want to mention is that we trialled on a couple of courses this last month for people to pay directly online as opposed to paying through cash or EFT. It certainly is a big plus for people like Liz Mills, who don't have to physically keep following people up when it's done online. And it is our preference that you try to use online. The club cover the cost of the fees, so there's no cost to you. Just one thing, when you do go online, just remember that if you don't have PayPal, you can pay by credit card. Please keep scrolling down the page. Although you mightn't see it just at the top where you see PayPal, don't freak out, I don't have PayPal. Scroll down further and it says credit card, and you can pay by credit card. And they're the two ways you can do it. If you did want to pay through your bank account, the best way to do it and the easiest way is to actually have a PayPal account which links to your bank account. That's the easiest way. But it certainly is not impossible to pay by other methods, but it certainly makes the people organising the events, it gives them a lot more freer that they don't have to keep chasing up. And I know that the club treasurer loves it, because when it goes through the database, there is an actual information that tells you exactly what it's for, and his work is very easy. So let's try and help the guys that are doing all the volunteer work in the back end, because they do a heck of a lot of work, and if anything we can make it easier for them, let's do. That's all from me, Eric.
Okay, thanks, Laurie. Gee, we're getting through it pretty quick tonight. Next item is a four-wheel drive video of the Great Victorian Desert, edited by Liz and John Mills.
Coober PD, 9 AM, Saturday, day that we're leaving.
The group follows the Amberdell Highway across the Great Victoria Desert and the tracks surveyed by Len Bedell. We view the first of many Len Bedell signs.
Tony's having a look to see if there's any water down Tallaringa Well.
Two atomic bombs were detonated at Emu in October 1953. The first, named Totem 1, was fired on October the 15th and had an explosive yield of 10 kilotons. The second bomb, named Totem 2, was detonated on the 27th of October with a yield of 8 kilotons. Emu Clay Pan, named after a local inhabitant, was approximately 2 kilometres long by 1 kilometre wide and was used as an airstrip for supplies.
Lunch at Anne's Corner. Here we are running up the track up to Vokes Hill. you should all jump and say Toyota at this point. Yeah, oh, what a feeling.
We head across the Serpentine Lakes on the border of South Australia and Western Australia. While exploring the Great Victoria Desert, Lembadel by chance found a suitable crossing.
State border, here we are.
We stop at Ilkirkla Roadhouse, our first opportunity to refuel. No one knows the true origin of these strange stone formations.
This is Neil's Junction and we're having a joint camp oven roast dinner tonight.
This area was a photographer's delight. The sun glistened on salty deposits leaching from the surrounding hills. Heading north on the Connie Sue, we visit Point Lillian and use the GPS to locate Aboriginal rock art. Jukayurla Roadhouse on the Great Central Road was our next fuel stop and base to explore local ochre pits and rocky outcrops. Using GPS coordinates, we explore the caves at Bretton's Bluff. Along the David Carnegie Road, we stopped to climb down into Empress Springs.
And this is the beginning of the gun barrel for us. Threaded corrugations, and these are the good ones.
Where are we? Nowhere.
Crystal good.
Well, thank you for that, Liz. I've not been down that part of the world, but once this thing's all over, I plan to do a trip up to the Kimberley. So that might take us a couple of months, but anyway, we'll see how we go. So moving right along, we get on to general business. If anybody's got any general business they'd like to bring up, I guess we'll have to do it by questions and answers. If we can do that now, great. Nobody seems to have any. Sandra, you got any general business you'd like to mention? You're on mute, Sandra.
No,
Okay.
just unmuted. No, I'm pretty right. Thanks, Eric.
Okay, then. What about you, Viv?
Nice to have John on board. Nice to see you, John. I hope we're able to organise something next year where we can get some members to come and visit ARB at Kilsyth and to see you all.
Yeah, that'd be good. It'd be good to do all that again. So hopefully sooner rather than later.
I'll be in touch for sure.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thanks, John.
Thank
No worries.
Thank you, John.
Anytime.
Nice to see you.
You too. Cheers.
Viv, any general
No,
business?
I've got nothing.
Okay, moving to Liz.
Just to say again, if anybody's got any ideas of anything they would like in the way of a course, just let me know and I'll certainly look into it. I know there's one query I had and I will be having a look into that shortly.
Okay. Okay, what about you, Laurie?
I'm looking at who's doing what on Facebook. There's a lot of questions being asked and they're being answered directly on Facebook, so we're not actually putting them up here. Eric's been given a few and he's already replied to them, so that's good. Brian Stewart Thanks, Brian, for being on Facebook tonight. Good to see you answering some people's questions over there as well about running the Arc Maintenance weekends. The other thing that I wanted to mention was how many people we got tonight? Well, online and Zoom with partners, we've probably got about 90 people online Zoom, and we've got about 50 on Facebook. So we've got probably 140, 150 people watching the meeting tonight, which is pretty good.
Fabulous.
Sorry?
That's fabulous.
Yes. That's about it. And that's about it from me.
All right, well, moving out, we're going to have a little goodbye video. I'm sure everyone will be happy with that, and it'll help us end the meeting. And thank you again, John, for coming on tonight. I really appreciate you putting up your time and giving us your time and so forth. So, Laurie, over to you, mate. I'll close the meeting and thank you all for attending.